Hi and welcome to another free.volous episode. Today I'm bringing you an Up Close and Poresonal. Did we miss these videos? I have, for sure. And if you're new here, hi. And Up Close and Poresonal are the videos where I basically try on usually foundation products, complexion products, and I show them up close for you to see on camera, on my skin, with no filters, no trying to be as close to what I see in real life, so that you can make your own decisions regarding your next purchase maybe. And I basically review the product, comparing it also against its own claims. Of course, we are all different. Things can work for some and not for others, so this is not, you know, the baseline of the universe, but it is my impressions on a product and trying to be as thorough as possible. Keep in mind, my skin is combination to oily, and we're in the summer, so it's more oily, and I have lots of hyperpigmentation and melasma. I've had acne ever since I was 12, so there are breakouts frequently, but they've been very cool with me for the past couple of months. Let's not talk about it or they will come back. But yeah, my skin has been clear. I don't have much texture issues right now. I have, you know, pores, and I have wrinkles because I'm 42, so they are starting to show up. I haven't done anything to snatch my face back up yet. Don't know if I ever will, but just so you know, the only treatments I've done are for hyperpigmentation, which is still here, and a bit for firmness, but that's something that needs to be done regularly. So full disclosure, this is what you get, all the ups and downs and spots and stuff like that. And yeah, today we're doing an Up Close and Poresonal on the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. This came out a while ago in the US. I don't know why they delayed the release onto Europe. We'll never know. Maybe some legislation problems, things to work around, bureaucracy, stuff like that. The thing is, it launched in the US for, I think, about $38 or something like that. And it was advertised in the EU website as 38 euros or something like that. I know that because I had it on my wish list, like how much I will have to spend when it comes out and when will it come out and all that stuff. And suddenly when they announced they were releasing finally the product in Europe, it was 46 euros 50. So it's kind of expensive, and it was kind of a blow for me because I was really surprised at that price change, which for me it was a change because it was actually advertised on the website for another price, and then before the launch they changed the price. I know things are going up in prices, and supplier problems and greed all around is a factor. I really like Danessa Myricks as a brand, don't get me wrong, but it's, you know, part of the business and the game of these things. But let's jump on to what it is and all the details. So it is currently retailing for 46 euros 50 on the Danessa Myricks Europe website, and I think at Kitchen Makeup it's the same price, which is a store here in Portugal that also sells Danessa Myricks. It has 10 shades plus a universal shade. Mine is number 3, which is called Light Medium with Neutral Undertones. Sounded quite right. Sadly, it looks too light on my skin as it is now, but we'll see. And this is made with Upsalite technology, which is an ingredient developed in Sweden that is really good, supposedly better than many others, at balancing your sebum production and controlling your oil production throughout the day without at the same time making you look matte and flat and dehydrated in a way. And this was advertised as something that you could prime with, that you could set your foundation with, add coverage, light or higher, and also highlight and contour if you have several shades of this product. This is shade number 3 for your comparison. So you can see it's kind of within my shade range, but when applied onto the skin, it goes a bit lighter, let's say. Now, fun fact, when I got this, I was so excited. I bought I bought it the moment it was launched or pre-launched or whatever, and as soon as it got to my house, I smeared it on my face, and I didn't fall in love. And I was kind of like, what's happening? Because this has all the characteristics of something that I may really love, because it sounds like a compact powder foundation that delivers some coverage, oil control, all of that, but it has more of that silkiness to it that requires less work and may look less heavy on the skin and still provides lots of glow. Of course, as I said, I can work with powders to not look matte. I know how to do that, but this seemed a far more one swipe on the face and you're good to go with a bit of light coverage and you're good to go out the door. And I didn't have that experience with this product. So today I'm going to apply it for you. You'll see how it works on me and how I was able to make it work in a way. And let me bring you in. Hi, so here we are. So the first thing is that usually Danessa Myricks, when she does her amazing demos on her Instagram, she usually uses the primer, the glowing primer, the liquid glowing primer from this same range, the Yummy Skin something something glow something primer. I don't have that, so I have something like this, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, whatever. So that's what I use to kind of go in, and I'm going to show you one side with and one side without. There will be other variables because I'm trying to show you different variables of the product at the same time. So here we go. As you can see, it has provided a bit of coverage already, so keep that in mind. And now I'm going to go with a Yummy Skin thingy. Now, the first thing I did, because they said you should kind of smooth this onto your skin, was I took a bit of this with this little spatula and I applied it with my fingers onto the areas. And it feels like a balm or a cream, and it starts to spread really easily. But then I started to notice that it has a bit of an extra slip to it that I wasn't expecting, which makes it a bit more difficult to use than I was anticipating, because this translates into the tools that you're using, and it may differ from person to person, but if you're using a brush, if this has that much slip, almost like feeling like a silicone primer, almost, not to that extent, but it has that kind of slip. So if you use a brush, it will look kind of streaky. So I'll show it to you. I'm using a very dense brush. I'm patting and pressing. That's how they tell you to do. And that's how good it can look. So with a brush, a very dense, thick brush, just patting and pressing, it looks really nice. Now the blurring thing, I don't think it blurs. I'll do an up close. My pores are still pretty visible, but you can see a bit of coverage comparing to the other side. That's just my perfect point of coverage for me. It's this, and it still has a bit of glow that's shining through from the primer. Now on this side I only have my skincare and of course sunscreen, which is an essential. If it doesn't work with sunscreen, it's crap for me. That's my kind of way of doing things. And this is how it looks. Can you see when I'm pressing the product? I hope you can see it kind of pushes on itself. Can you see that? And that's the struggle I felt, because it started to look streaky because of that slip. So, and the other thing I hope you will be able to see, it's that it sort of collects and looks a bit streaky on the, I won't say dry because I do exfoliate, I don't have dry patches, but suddenly it looks like I do on my chin with this product. So it's something to keep in mind if you have lots of texture. Although this says blurring, I don't know. I like to go in with a sponge. This is stained, it's not dirty. I like to go in with my sponge and just press it on. And this is the way that I found that works the best all over the face, including around my mouth and stuff like that, because you don't have that streaky thing that you get with the brush. And you can see it does deliver quite some coverage, but I wouldn't build it up too much. They say you can build it. I don't feel you can too much because of that slip to it, because it stays on the skin. It doesn't set on the skin, in my humble opinion or experience. If you touch it, can you see my fingerprints? It's lifting product. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more and let it set for a bit. And usually I use this more as a hybrid. You can see the difference between my forehead and the rest of my face. I'm gonna bring a little bit of product to my forehead. I don't usually do that because I have fringe, so it gets dirty and oily, and I don't want that. But I'm gonna add just a little bit, just to balance the color out. I still look like what's it called? A floating head. But yeah, this is how it looks. Without the glowing base, it's still really shiny or dewy, and with the glowing base, you see there's the added bit of coverage, but that's how it goes. So I'm now going to do a bit of bronzer, concealer under my eyes, and I'll be right back. Sadly, my camera goes berserk every time I wear my hair down, and it looks really weird, the color balance, but yay. So I've done an up close so that you can see it looks a bit heavy on my skin. And it feels like it's immediately collecting on my lines. So my nasolabial folds, around my nose, on my forehead lines. And I can notice a slight bit of texture on my chin, although my skin is super smooth right now. And to the touch is super silky, and I feel really frustrated. So that's my thing with this product. You need to apply a really sheer amount. You need to press it in, never swipe, even with a brush, or especially with a brush. And I think, and this is from my experience, it doesn't feel like it's setting at all. And if you're really oily, from my experience, I feel like you will feel the need to set it down with powder. And Danessa has done that on her tutorials. She's used this as an extra layer, basically, underneath foundation, and not as much to set down foundation as of recently, but mostly as a layer underneath foundation that helps to perfect it and stuff like that. So she does set things at the end with some powder, and I think that's something you may need. On camera, this looks amazing. Except for the fact that it's collecting, so it will start to enhance my fine lines. So it has a few claims that I will address at the end, but this is what we have at this moment. So right now it's 1:05 in the PMs, and this is how it looks. I'm not going to do much regarding the rest of my face because I'm staying home, so I'm just having this on my face and that's it. I've just applied a cream bronzer, the cream contour balm, also from Danessa Myricks, just to tone down a bit of the whiteness of the product, and hopefully not to disturb too much the formula of it. And I think I'm going to gently press a touch of powder to my oilier areas. I'm just going to apply a little bit of powder to one of the sides. I'm just trying to pick one, because one has the Charlotte Tilbury product and this one doesn't have anything, so we'll see. I'll apply this to this side. It's starting to collect on my fine lines, so so there you go. Can you see this white line of product? I've blotted it down several times. It just comes back. So we'll see. So this is where I've applied the product. On this side, there's nothing. That's how I like to go about my day, on this side. So there you go. Yeah, this is my full makeup for today. I'm not going to set with any spray or anything. I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'll go about my day, and we'll see you later. Hi, check-in. It is 4:02 p.m, so it's been about 3 hours since I've done my makeup, I think. And yes, I've applied makeup because I decided I would record since I'm home and I have some free time. I pre-record some videos because it's going to be a busy week next week. So here it is. The only thing that I've applied to my actual complexion is a bit of blush. Everything else I did not touch. Is still the powdered side, unpowdered side, and I applied a bit of makeup to my eyes and lips, and that's it. And I'm going to show you why this product redeems itself after a few hours. So let's jump into it. So you can see it still looks slightly heavy on some areas, and the dead giveaway is because it's crumpling up on my lines. But if I pat them down, the rest of my skin looks absolutely creamy and beautiful, and the product is kind of melting into my skin without looking oily, only glowy. And that's its strong suit, and that's how I think it redeems itself. Not immediately. When you apply it immediately, at least for me, it doesn't look as flawless as I wanted it to look, but then throughout the day it shows what it can do. So it's a really strange product in that sense. So this was the first check-in. I'll probably check in a couple more times just to let you know the light will change for sure. It is now 7:23 and the PMs, and this is my check-in. It's been about 6 hours 20, and unlike any other foundation that I have worn on the Up Close and Poresonal, I think my skin is at its best right now because this product kind of melts throughout the day and becomes one with the skin. I still have coverage. Everything is still intact. I have a beautiful dewy glow that does not look oily in any kind of lighting, and it's slightly settled again into my forehead lines, which is easy to wipe off, and that's it, and it looks really beautiful. The thing is, if you're wondering, where I didn't apply any powder, it never felt fully set, so it always feels like there's something on your skin. So if you're a toucher, don't touch your skin, it may rub off. And the areas where I've applied the powder are now slightly starting to feel a bit tacky, so keeping up with the rest of the face. So that's all. Other than that, now it looks really good. So this is the weirdest product I've ever tried. I'll see you at the final check-in. Hi, it is 22 minutes past midnight. Yes, I had dinner, I taught a dance class, which was really mild for me, but I still broke a bit of a sweat, and I was chatting till late, so that's why I'm only checking in right now, but here we are. As you can see from the close-ups, my skin still looks really good. Although the oil control has gone downhill, it is quite oily around my nose where I usually get oily, and regardless of if I have powdered at noon or 1 p.m. or whatever it was when I applied this product. So keep that in mind. It's been a while that I haven't repowdered, but although I look pretty oily, there is still some coverage on my skin, which is rather impressive, especially on my cheeks, which is also an area where the coverage stays more easily because I don't tend to touch my cheeks, the apples of my cheeks, as much as my jaw. And there's no coverage around my mouth and chin because I was eating and I wiped my face, not my face, my mouth. So there you go. But there's still some coverage including around my forehead, I believe. So that's really, really impressive. In terms of longevity, I had never worn this for so many hours and tried to see how it went. So I'm really impressed with that. That being said, let's talk about their claims and how I feel that they match how I have personally experienced the product. They say this is texture reducing. I'd say it depends on the texture. If you have texture induced by dryness, I think this will enhance that texture. From my previous experiences, it has a tendency to cling on to dryness, so it depends on the type of texture. If you're talking about lumps or ups and downs on your skin, yes, maybe, yeah, it can reduce the appearance of that texture. It says it is coverage boosting. Sure, it has some coverage and you can add it to any other coverage product, so yes, you can boost the coverage of whatever you have on your face with it, fine. It is blurring. Yes, to a point, I felt it was the most blurring. I felt it was the most blurring when I applied on the areas where I applied the powder. So the combination of the balm powder with a normal powder on top of it made a very flawless finish. But it is slightly blurring in a way, but because it stays luminous, the relief of your pores is always noticeable because it is a luminous product. Hence why the powder on top of it may make it look really blurring, extra blurring. So yeah. Oil balancing, I'd say yes. I think yes, now after, I don't know, 12 hours, 11 hours of wear, I'm looking oily, but this is without blotting. This is without touching my face at all after 11 hours. This is super impressive. And before it's starting to break down, which, okay, it's been 11 hours, you can do that. Before it started to break down, it started to dance with the oils on my face and making my skin look really beautifully luminous without ever looking greasy, which is something that no foundation that I've tried can do. The moment they flip and they start to break down from the oil, the moment the oil seeps through, that's when the foundation starts to, you know, erode in a way, and I need to blot and kind of assess the situation, see if I need to cover any damages. But yeah, this is really, really elegant in the way that it balances and that it works with the oils on your skin, and you still shine through the product, but it seems to take on those oils to improve the look of your face. I would say this is really interesting for people with combination to oily skin. I think there's a huge downside, which is you can't find this in store in most places. It's not, I think, sold in store at Sephora. You have to order it online, and except for, you know, for instance, here in Portugal, Kitchen Makeup does have this product, and you can try it in store, I think, but that's not something that is available for everybody. And because it is so bloody expensive, it's kind of a bit weird of me to recommend for you to go out and buy it, but if you can try it beforehand, it is a super interesting product. On my skin, as you saw, upon application, it didn't look its best, but after a couple of hours, it was looking amazing, and it lasted looking like that for so long that it's really impressive. If you have oily skin, you know what I mean. Usually they just they give up on you after a while. If you have really dry skin, especially with any texture, flakiness, that kind of stuff, I don't think you would like this. They say it keeps hydration, and if you have dry skin and if you love this product, let me know in the comments below. Of course, it's always possible to, you know, do an exfoliation beforehand and really prep your skin and load it with moisturizer, some nice oil. Danessa Myricks uses lots of oils on her skin prep, and then, you know, going in with a glowing primer, that kind of stuff. That all helps, especially if you are really, really dry. But if your skin tends to eat or drink that moisture throughout the day and stay dry in the surface, then you have lots of dehydration that probably will not bode well with this product, I would say. I don't know. I can be completely wrong, just let me know in the comments below. It's not my skin type, so I won't be able to argue. I will not die in that hill. I think they should make a few more shades. That's just something I feel. I think Danessa Myricks is increasing her prices overall, which is something I'm a bit sad about, because it was an expensive brand. It's not drugstore, but it was on the lower side of high end, and it was a bit more affordable for everybody, and it kind of pains me that I can't recommend Danessa Myricks as easily now, because it's becoming a bit more expensive. But anyway, that's the trade-off of becoming, you know, famous and being very successful or whatever. But yeah, that's the end of the video for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. I really missed doing these, although I always end up recording at the weirdest hours. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please thumb it up, subscribe if you haven't already, leave me comments down below, come and chat with me on Instagram. I'm at the free.volous. And as usual, thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!